Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a See, Think, Wonder, which is a visual thinking routine. And in order to do this, what I'm going to ask you to do is to evaluate some photographs that I'm going to show you as they introduce our next chapter. Interesting. Kelly, what do you see?
I see two men pushed up against a wall or a fence, and I think that they're trying to move something or trying to look for something. And I wonder what it is that they're moving or what they're trying to look for.
What makes you think they're trying to move something?
Because the guy in the gray shirt, he's pushed up against it like he's trying to push it or something.
This gentleman right here?
Yeah.
So it looks like he's actually physically doing some labor.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I see two people looking through.
And what do you think about it?
I think they are not very wealthy because of what they're wearing.
I'm glad you added the because that's an important part of this, is to have evidence of it. So based on what you see they're wearing, you don't think that these are very wealthy people.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you're wondering about?
I wonder if they want to be on the other side of that.
Maybe that's what they're looking through.
Yeah.
You wonder what country that they're from. You're assuming they're not from the United States. Okay. Guys, let's take a look at picture number 2. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Once I show you the second picture, you're going to write down what you see, what you think, and what you wonder. And if you have an opportunity to write the explanation of why you think it, that would be great. If you don't, I'll ask you when you mention it anyway. Okay? So here's photo number 2.
I see people stepping off of the boat onto like a beach, and I think this is when America was discovered because they're dressed like in clothes from a long time ago, and I wonder who the people are on the boat.
I see a person who's going like this with their arms, and then a man who has his hand on the rock. But I interpret that by thinking that the person whose hands are up, thinking that they're very happy, and then the man whose hands are on the rock, he looks like he's praising God or something because he's just so happy to be there, and like what he's seeing is beautiful, like it's for the first time. I wonder if they're very wealthy or if they were at one time because of his clothing. And I wonder where they came from and where they are.
I see a group of people going on a little smaller boat to reach land, and I think from the way they're dressed and how surprised they are, like to finally reach land, that they just came off the Mayflower. So they're happy they finally found the new home or the new discovery. And I wonder, if it is Christopher Columbus in the picture, or it's just a different group of people arriving to America.
Regarding photo number 3, something that you see, something that makes you think, and something that you wonder.
In the picture, I see people bundled up for winter, and they're walking on train tracks, and a lady's carrying her baby. I think they are migrating for the winter to somewhere maybe warmer, and I wonder why they are walking on the train tracks, not riding the train, and where they're going, or where they're coming from.
I see women walking, and they're walking on a railroad, and the lady in front has a child. I think that they're trying to leave wherever they came from, and I wonder if they know where they're going.
I see people carrying their babies along the train tracks and all of their belongings, and I think that their mothers bringing their children to find a new place to live because maybe their city got destroyed or they just can't afford to live there anymore. And I wonder why, sometimes I wonder why they're not on the train. That could be because they're poor, but I wonder why they're leaving and where they're going.
Jordan?
I think they're leaving because something bad happened or something's pushing them.
So you see people leaving?
Yeah, and they don't look very happy because their facial expressions, the two people in front, they don't look like they're happy to go where they're going. They just look scared and
So that's something that you're thinking. What are you wondering about?
I wonder what made them want to leave, what bad thing happened, or if it was a good thing.
Maybe all of the men went off to war or something. They could be fighting for whatever city they're doing, or there could be some sort of battle, or maybe they died. I don't know.
Interesting. But that would sort of explain why there are no men in this photo.
I see a family of immigrants looking at the Statue of Liberty in New York City, and I see the little boy saluting towards it. I think they just got off the boat from a different country, and they're coming to live in America for freedom. And I wonder what country they came from and why the little boy is saluting.
Like a long journey, and they don't look too excited to be there. Maybe they are, but you can't really see their facial expressions. Maybe they're nervous to go through like Ellis Island and go through all the tests, like to get into America to see if they're fitted to live in America. And I wonder why they, like where they came from, why they left, and like what pulled them towards moving to America.
Great.
I see a family of 3 looking at the Statue of Liberty, and I think that they're immigrants from a different country because of what they're wearing. And I wonder if they lost like one of their children, or like the boy lost like a sibling like on the ship, because usually back in those days they had like larger families.
Oh, that's an excellent point. That brings us back to what we talked about in our last chapter with population, that when you had these poor immigrants, right, typically they had large families. I'm sure you have some questions about this photo. Michelle?
I see people on a raft, but there's like a car on top of it, and I see like a compartment in the back where maybe they have belongings. They don't have like, expensive clothes, so I think that they're trying to move, maybe to the U.S.
I see a bunch of men on a car slash boat sort of contraption that they obviously made themselves. I think they are escaping from their country because they're in trouble maybe with the government for doing something illegal. And I wonder why they are doing this and where they are going to escape.
Great. Anybody else? Kelly?
Obviously I see a bunch of men on a raft, but what looks like a truck, and I think this kind of goes with I wonder too, but I think that they're maybe smuggling something across the ocean because they can't do that across the border. It might be harder. I wonder if they've gotten in trouble with the government, like Nicole said, and I wonder why they're coming to America, like everyone else said, and I wonder if it is America even, and I wonder why they're all men and not women.
Charlotte?
Okay. I enjoyed the See, Think, and Wonder project, and like it was a way to hear everyone's ideas and everyone's thoughts about a picture, because my opinion might be different than somebody else's, and it was a way to like try to understand the picture without having only just seeing it.
Excellent. Thank you.
I thought the See, Think, Wonders were fun, and it would be fun to do it again. And I learned that migrating isn't always easy. Some people aren't lucky enough to get to freedom or where they want to go, and some are.
Yeah, that's something that as we go through this chapter we're going to see. There are people who move because they want to move, and there are people who move because they have to move. Some are forced, some just have no other choice. We saw people who were moving many years ago, people who are moving today. Sometimes men, women, and children were moving together, and other times they were moving alone. And so what I'm going to ask us to think about as we go through the next few lessons is, how would I react to that? How would I have responded if somebody forced me to move? Or if I had no money to move and I had to walk along a train track? So as we move forward, these are just some of the things that I would like you to keep thinking about. On the experiences you've had, it's going to change the way you see the pictures that I show you. But I want you to keep in mind that there's never just one answer. And it's never just right or wrong. There are things you're thinking, things you're wondering, even though we're all seeing the same picture at the same time. Guys, thanks a lot. I'll take these from you as you leave. Have a wonderful